Hi Marta, how are you?
I am fine, thanks. How about you?
Not bad, thanks.
We speak slowly and use simple words so that you, our dear friends, can easily understand what we are talking about.
More you listen to our podcast, more you understand. More you understand, more you learn English.
Let's start. And our first news of the day is about Russia and Ukraine. In 2014, Russian soldiers came to Crimea and they took the area by force. Crimea was a part of Ukraine, and since that time, the situation between Russia and Ukraine was very bad. A war started in February 2014. The war lasted almost 8 years. 14,000 people died, and millions of people left their homes. The two countries ended the war, but the peace did not last. Now, Russia is sending thousands of soldiers to the border with Ukraine, and world leaders worry that another war could start soon. Russia said that it did not plan to invade or take control of Ukraine. At the same time, Russian President Vladimir Putin said that he did not want Ukraine to become a part of NATO or the North American Treaty Organization, where Ukraine would get help from other countries.
So, the NATO stands for North American Treaty Organization.
Yes.
And what is treaty?
A treaty is a written agreement between two or more countries, formally approved and signed by their leaders.
So, NATO is the organization of North American Agreement.
Yes.
Okay, Marta, thanks for the news, but can you tell me and our listeners a little more information about NATO?
Of course. NATO is an international alliance that consists of 30 member states from North America and Europe. It was established at the signing of the North Atlantic Treaty on the 4th of April, 1949. Article 5 of the treaty states that if an armed attack occurs against one of the member states, it shall be considered an attack against all members, and other members shall assist the attacked member with armed forces if necessary.
I think it's the reason why Ukraine want to become the member of NATO, because 8 years ago Russia invaded Ukraine, and if Ukraine were part of NATO, Ukraine could use the Article 5 and ask the member of NATO for help.
And of the 30 member countries, only 2 are located in North America, Canada and the United States, 28 are in Europe, and one of which, Turkey, is in both Europe and Asia. All members have militaries except for Iceland, which does not have a typical army, but it does have a coast guard and a small unit of civilian specialists for NATO operations. 3 of NATO's members are nuclear weapons states: France, the United Kingdom, and the United States.
So Ukraine wants to be the part of NATO, and Russia it's very against it. Thanks a lot for this very interesting information about NATO. And our next news, and let me read it, is North Korea has conducted what is thought to be its biggest missile launch since 2017.
A missile is a flying weapon that has its own engine so that it can travel a long distance before exploding at the place that it has been aimed at.
Thanks. The weapon was an intermediate range missile which reached an altitude of 2 kilometers before coming down into the Sea of Japan. Japan, South Korea, and the US have all condemned the launch, the seventh test this month.
Condemn or condemned means to express complete disapproval of, typically in public.
Thanks for the information. The UN prohibits North Korea from ballistic and nuclear weapons tests and has imposed strict sanctions.
Imposed or to impose is to officially force a rule, tax, punishment to be followed or received.
Thank you. Dr. Daniel Pinkston, a lecturer in international relations, told the BBC there were 4 main reasons why North Korea tests missiles: for engineering purposes, to test new systems, for military exercises, for political signaling to different audiences, and as an advertisement for foreign buyers. I didn't have idea that North Korea officials can sell their missiles to other countries.
Me
and
neither. I
they
thought it
have
was
foreign buyers.
an exclusive North Korean business.
And who could be this
Foreign
buyers?
Man spends one day at sea. Last week, a tsunami hit Tonga and it devastated several islands.
And what is devastate?
To destroy a place or thing and completely or cause great damage,
Thanks.
which can be caused by a tsunami here. Lisala Follow was on the island of Atata when the tsunami came. He saw the big wave and he said that he was very scared. The wave took the man away into the open sea. The disabled man swam and floated in the sea for more than a day before he finally reached land again.
Disabled? This man was disabled? What does it mean?
Not having one or more of the physical or mental capabilities that most people have.
It's like person without hand and, for example, he can't use this hand in properly way. Thanks.
The man ended up on the island of Tonga Tapu, which was about 13 kilometers away from Atata. He said that he would love to go back to Atata one day because it was his home.
Excuse me, I just thought he was lucky. I don't know, in that area, do they have sharks in the sea? Because spend the whole day and swim 13 kilometers, it's really a long journey. And he was lucky if there
were no sharks?
Yeah.
Several countries sent ships and planes to Tonga. Hundreds of people cleared the airport with their own hands so the planes could land.
Clear it? They wash the airport?
No, that's clean.
Sorry?
Clear is to move things and make space.
So make the space clear, not clean. And the last news for today, fake news and the 1918 flu. In 1918, a flu hit the world and the pandemic became the worst in US history. The 1918 flu was very deadly and people could die 12 hours after the first signs of the disease. People bled from the nose, mouth, eyes, and ears. And what is bled?
It's the verb bleed, so it's to lose blood just in the past tense.
Thanks. Between 1918 and 1919, about 675,000 Americans died, and the reason why the number was so high was World War I and war propaganda. What is propaganda?
Propaganda is information, ideas, opinions, or images, often only giving one part of an argument, that are used or broadcast or published in some other way to spread with the intentions of influencing people's opinions. So in this case, it was the Americans that they were influencing with wrong or false information.
Okay, let's read on. The US President Woodrow Wilson needed men and boys to fight. If people knew about the flu, it could have an impact on the war. Excuse me, what is impact?
An impact is a powerful effect that something, especially something new, has on a situation or person.
The US government passed a law that changed the way how journalists informed people. If journalists wrote something bad about the government, they could go to prison. Newspapers wrote only about the war, and little information was about the flu.
That's true.
And
I didn't know that.
me as well, because I always thought that US is like example of free speech.
So media was censored.
Censored? So someone to censor them? What does it mean?
To prevent part of the whole of a book, film, document, or any kind of communication from being seen or made available to the public, because it is considered to be either offensive or harmful, or because it contains information that someone wishes to keep secret, often for political reasons. There was censorship of media and of all newspapers in Germany during the Second World War, and also partially in the Soviet Union. So it isn't really the symbol of a very free and happy nation. So this is it for today.
Yes, this episode has come to an end.
We will be happy if you press the button like under this video.
And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast.
Also, you can ask questions and write comments under each episode.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye!